Morning, everyone. Good morning. Oh, thank you so much. Welcome, everyone. Welcome all to the love and light that is Unity of Lawrence. Welcome those who are watching us on Zoom or Facebook. And welcome to this first Sunday in June, a bright Sunday for us to come here and reveal the divine within us. I think that's why we're here. Here. Amen. Okay. As you know, here in Lawrence, in Unity, we begin everything with prayer. So please take that centering breath and open up to the divine and listen, please, to this prayer. On this day, we dedicate our hearts to peace on earth. We appreciate each individual spiritual journey and the abundant blessings bestowed upon us. In unity with all who seek to express freedom, joy, and transformation, we welcome our divine inheritance as creators. We come from love, as love, to be love. In harmony with this truth, we live to the best of our ability with a peaceful mind, a peaceful heart, and a peaceful spirit. And so it is. Amen. Our prayer chaplains are trained to hold sacred space and pray with you one-on-one. If there is anything in your heart to be held in prayer, we invite you to see a chaplain following today's service at the front of the sanctuary. And now please stand as we join Holly in singing Gratitude.
Good morning, everybody. Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful, 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 I'm so grateful. We are grateful for all of you to be here today. Let's say hello to our neighbors. so grateful. I'm 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 so grateful. Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. One more time. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful.
Thank you. I am so grateful. Now it's time for Unity Intentions. Please affirm with me Unity's founding principle. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God, the source of all good. And now our Unity of Lawrence vision statement. United in divine love and joy, we celebrate a peaceful and abundant world for all. And now our Unity of Lawrence mission statement. We are a thriving spiritual community, sharing love, building bridges, and inspiring transformation. And now please welcome our special music guest, Millie Webb.
Good morning. I'm so glad to be here. All right. No burden of shame, guilt, or sin. None of that when I look within. Not needing to be saved or born again. No need to wait for the love to begin. Love is unconditional. I confess I'm already worthy of worthiness. I was born in grace, already blessed. Made in the image of I am one with the Spirit. I am in and of the whole. My world is a reflection of this truth. I know there is no separation between my God and me. I am born in original love. I am born in original love. Every person a reminder to me. Every moment an opportunity to open up, to rise up and know that I am free, and know that there is nothing more I need to be, 'cause I am one with the Spirit. I am in and of the whole. My world is a reflection of this truth. I know there is no separation between my God and me. I am born in original love. I am born in original love. Divine mind is my foundation. Divine wisdom guides my way. All abundance is my birthright, and I claim it now. I am one with the Spirit. I am in and of the whole, and my world is a reflection of this truth I know. Yeah, there is no separation between my God and me. Yeah, I am born in original love. I am born in original love. Woo! Amen.
Thank you. Sharon Dwyer has been part of the Unity Lawrence spiritual community since 1984 and a licensed Unity teacher since 1990. She has taught numerous classes, been a board member, a teacher in the youth program, a chaplain, choir member, worship assistant, and more for almost 40 years. She now considers herself semi-retired, but is pleased to have the opportunity to speak. And I am grateful to have the opportunity to hear you. Welcome, Sharon.
It's wonderful to be here. It's been quite a while since I have spoken here. I did it a couple of times on Zoom, but I tell you, that's different. It's really different as the speaker, because I can look out at you guys and there is a little bit of a glare, but I can pretty much see your faces and, talk to you. And on Zoom, I don't know, I was just sitting there talking to myself, which I do all the time, but it's not as much fun as having people to interact with. So I'm really grateful to be here and kind of getting myself technologically set up as best I can. So there's a Jewish phrase that I only in recent couple years became familiar with, a phrase of condolence, and may his, her, their memory be a blessing. And I really like that, I think that's beautiful. A lot of times we don't really quite know what to say in terms of condolence, and maybe some of the things we say are a little bit awkward. But that one, it's like giving a gift to the bereaved person and to the departed, both. May their memory be a blessing. And so when I was thinking about this talk, I kept thinking I always teach what I need to learn or what I'm already learning, but I'm in process with. So that's what's happening here. I kept having situations where memories would come up, and like whistling in the dark, I would say to myself, I don't have any regrets, not me. And then these things, even little things from my whole life would come up. Like I said something as a child, or I said a lot of things as an adult. But, and I go, I said that. And sometimes it's about other people. They said that. But, I've already worked on that for a long time. And I can't say that forgiveness is complete by any means. But I'm not actively going around hating people and wishing to kill them or punch their eyes out. I quit that a while back. So, but I still have a lot of memories of things that I have done and said, and they just kept coming up in little ways. And so I try to be mindful and go, wait a minute, I'm driving the car, because I don't want to just erase those memories. I don't want to just totally push them out of the way, because what that does is just submerge them. You know, it makes them part of my shadow. And my shadow is those things that I don't want to look at, because it might be too painful or too embarrassing, shaming. You know, I don't want to look at those things. So that means that's exactly what I have to do. But I need to do it in the proper time and situation, like not when I'm driving the car, or not when I'm trying to help children cross the street, which is my retirement profession. You know, just I need to give myself time and space to do that, though, to still review the past, and to, with a sense of allowing, with a sense of remembering the things that I have learned in unity. Yes, that I am born in original love. Now, I didn't know that. I didn't know that for a long time, and it's still a process because I can forget it. Not that I think I was born in original sin, but I can still think, you know, that old thing, why me? No, because why anybody? Why everybody? It's just, we came here to have experiences, and do we ever? We came here to learn and to experience what we call good and what we call bad, and up and down and everything. So we want to be able to allow that in our minds, in our lives, and bless it, you know. So may my memory be a blessing is what came to me as a title, just because that's like blessing me. And the more I go through that process of allowing my memory to be a blessing, then hopefully I can be a blessing to others as well. So, you know, that's a win-win. So here we are. I don't think I'll deal with technology. It's too hard. So anyway, my spiritual background, I came to Unity a long time ago, as said in the bio, through the 12 steps, through a 12-step program. And that is still a great part of my spiritual foundation. And then through Unity, I, in time, developed an interest in Buddhist teachers. And I am not a practicing Buddhist, but I do read and study and meditate on Buddhist teachings. And to me, all three of those give me a firm spiritual foundation to live my life. And not to shame myself or judge myself for it, but to live it, to experience it, and to use the tools that I gather along the way, you know, to help myself, and which in turn helps others. And I learned that in 12-step for sure, that whatever I do to help myself helps others as well. So one of the things that is talked about a lot in Buddhism is the idea of impermanence. And sometimes we just call it change, and we go, no, you know, or else the minister gets up and says, are you ready to be transformed? And we say, yeah. And then what about, you know, change? And we go, no. Transformation, sure, but don't change anything, you know? Especially don't sit in my seat at church or anything major like that. Don't take my desk at work or my chair in the meeting. Don't change. So, you know, we can talk a good talk, but we have to keep learning to walk that walk, because that's what our lives are about, walking the walk. So impermanence, everything changes, and we know that. We know that the seasons change, and we complain about it, but, you know, we know that the weather changes, and if we learn to look at that as our opportunity, change in our lives, instead of thinking of it as some kind of curse, some kind of bad luck that only happens to me, not anybody else, you know. But change is, that's what is change. That's what life is. The breath goes in and it goes out, you know, it changes. My thoughts go all different directions, but sometimes they're kind of in a straight line, other times they're really fragmented, but they change. And we in our culture are trained to identify with those thoughts, to think that's who I am, and that's not good, folks. No bueno. You know, we have to recognize, or we don't have to, but we get to if we try enough to recognize that we are more than our thoughts, and we need to be able to pause, to step back, to look at those thoughts and realize that I am not the thoughts themselves. And actually, I'm not even the thinker. My ego is the thinker. And my ego is okay, don't hate it. I need it while I have a body. But I am more than that. And I am the one who observes the thoughts. And the more I get in touch with my true self, the more I recognize that. I can see the thoughts. I'm not lost in it, which normally I am. That's our normal human experience. I'm lost in my thoughts, and I think that I'm right. Whatever I've seen, experience, that's right. That's reality. That's the truth. Well, you know how the old story of there was a car wreck, and they asked 4 different people what they saw, and they saw totally different things. And for each of them, that is the truth. So what makes me different? Why do I think that the things that I see in my mind are the absolute truth, or the memories I have? So really, I can tell a different story. I can tell a different story about myself, about my memories, about my experience, and I can see it differently. And in that sense, I change the past. I can't change what happened. I can't change facts, but I can certainly change what's running around in my head about it, because that was my experience, and maybe even as a child when I really had no way of knowing anything else, but maybe I was traumatized by something, and that has affected me for a long time. Well, that takes a lot of work to heal from, unless there's just a miracle and you heal, and sometimes that happens, all right, but that's not most of our usual experience. Our usual experience is that if we want to heal, we have to really work at it. Like, I've been in therapy for years. I took some years off, but I knew I had to go back, and I did, and I'm really grateful that I did, because the therapist gives me a perspective, if I have one that I respect, which I do, then gives me another perspective on what's going on, and kind of like a sponsor, but anyway, or a minister maybe, but someone else, that I respect, who has a lot of insight and information as well, but not just information. And so I can talk to that person and learn to tell a different story, to see something differently, to see my experience differently, and not to be so, well, she said this, and then I said, to get past that. And there are a lot of ways to do it, but one of them is to practice self-compassion, to practice treating myself as I would a dear friend, a beloved, instead of slapping my own hand or face or whatever and telling myself I did bad. And worse than that, because that creates guilt, but worse than that I am bad, because that is shame. And in our shadows, we probably have some of that still, but less and less, hopefully, as we move through this life experience. But shame is really poison. If there is anything that is actually evil, and we don't in unity say evil, but if there is, shame is probably it, because it's so harmful. It's so harmful to feel that we're bad. And how are we going to treat others with kindness and respect if we secretly are ashamed of ourselves? It doesn't work that way. So I begin with myself. I begin with my own thoughts, my own memories, my own perspective, my story, like story of any moment in my life. The past, even earlier this morning, is the past. So anything that comes up for me, I can try to look at it from a more loving perspective, from a perspective of kindness, from a perspective of mindfulness, from a perspective of being connected to other people. And those are the three main principles that Dr. Kristen Neff uses in her work on self-compassion. And Jay Pryor's been talking to us about this for a long time, and I look forward to hearing more about it. But I knew that I wouldn't say exactly the same thing he said, so it's okay for me to talk about it as well. But those are the principles that we treat ourselves with kindness, and they could be in different orders, but mindfulness and connectedness or shared humanity. Shared humanity is a beautiful thing. That tells me that I am connected to everyone and that I have faults and I make mistakes, and so does everyone else, and it's okay. Shared humanity doesn't mean like shared shame and guilt. It means we all are fragile and vulnerable and have missteps, and it's okay. Granted, some are worse than others. I mean, if I make a misstep and I commit a crime, that might not be too cool, but to be able to forgive myself and others. How can I truly forgive others if I don't really forgive myself? You know, I can't. I can say, I'm a loving person, I love you, but if I really don't care for myself, love myself, treat myself kindly, then that's going to hamper my experience of loving anyone else. So this, for me, is where it starts. And I was an old lady before I figured this out, so don't give up. You know, it's okay. It's okay. We're just moving along the path and coming and going, and it's okay. So yes, we have impermanence. And the thing that is harmful for us about impermanence is that we resist it, and we know what we resist persists. So when we're always fighting about change, so I don't want to, you know, then we're resisting it, and we're just making it bigger and bigger in our lives. So some teachers are wise enough to say, just accept that wherever you are and whatever is happening, that's it. That's what's supposed to be, and allow it. Don't fight it. Now, granted, yeah, we want to grow, and we want to change, and we want to yada, 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 have a new car, whatever. But deep inside, there's more stuff. We need reliable transportation. But, you know, the outer things are, they're important in a sense, but it's really delving. It's the inner things that really create the quality of our lives. Although transportation adds quality too, I have to admit. But so yeah, we need that stuff. Yeah, I need a house. Okay, I admit it. But I need more than that, and I need it to come from within and from the sense of spirit being in everyone and everything. Spirit is in my animals, my dogs, my cat. Spirit is in your animals or your cousins or whoever's important to you. And we are all part of it. And that's what unity basically is about. You know, there is only one presence and one power. And so that is my higher power. It's my inner power. It's both huge and immediate, both. And the more I can allow what is happening and wish the best for myself and for others, the more I can thrive in this life and have an experience that is a blessing to me and to others. And unfortunately, much of the world, certainly in our country, doesn't see things this way. And so, you know, there's just, we see that. There's just a lot of conflict. And we cannot totally avoid it because we live in the world. And one of the sayings is, be in the world but not of it. So, or is it the other way around? Well, anyway, I can't remember which way the prepositions go, but you get the idea that that we are a part of this world, but we don't have to fight all the same fights that everybody else seems to. We can have our own way, and that's what unity is about. And we have to be ready to use the tools, the spiritual tools. And some of those tools are forgiveness, gratitude, appreciation. That means the same as gratitude, I guess, but it's just a word that I really like because when I use it, I think of it making things grow. Appreciation. There is a neuroscientist, Dr. Rick Hansen, and he talks about neuroplasticity. And I read a wonderful quote that said, when we put our attention on, it doesn't just grow, it creates new neural pathways in our brain. Wow. Now that's somewhat motivating to me, I must say, to put my attention on what I want, what I desire, what I love, because creating neural pathways in my brain is going to change my whole being. I mean, it can happen in different ways. It can happen purely from from a spiritual standpoint, but we do have bodies. So the things that we can do to change it on a physical, change our being on a physical level are really important too. So knowing that the brain is in some way malleable, not maybe in a lot of ways, but in this sense, I don't know what, all these thoughts come in my head, and I can't control what they do, until they're there and I realize I can use tools to manage those thoughts. That means I don't have to put my attention on the ones that are harmful. Now, I don't want to just say, I won't look at it ever. I want to have a time and place when I feel okay to look at it so that it isn't just part of my shadow. Because I need to be able to look at pain, illness, loss, and I need to be able to use my spiritual tools to heal from those memories. But I don't want that to overflow into all of my life. I need to have a meditation time, a journaling time, before bed, whatever, so that I can do this work without it spilling over into my life and making me the B word. If it's spilling over into my life, I'm going to be angry, and I've been there, and I'm going to be judgmental, and I've been there. Every time I judge someone else, I am revealing to myself, if I'm willing to look, an unhealed part of myself. So that's that old thing of, point a finger and there are three. I used to say four, but I think it's only three. Coming back at you, an unhealed part of myself. And it's all in process, because I don't think any of us go to a workshop and come back and we did this work. No. Maybe, but not likely. No. This is life. This is what we do. That's why they call it spiritual practice. We keep doing it. We practice. And probably we don't ever get it perfect as long as we're still in a physical body, but we certainly make progress, and it isn't always linear. There's a spiral, there's the onion that we unpeel, there's the steps forward and the steps back and the steps to the side, and that's part of what's okay. That's part of our shared humanity. So, kindness, mindfulness. What do I need now? What is here now? What is happening now? What do I feel now? That's mindfulness. So instead of whatever else I might be going off on in my head, I can say, whatever it is I'm doing, I'm walking down the street, I'm watching Netflix, I'm doing whatever I do, I'm petting my dog, this is what I'm doing now, and what do I need now? Do I need my own approval? Do I need my own love? If I think I need someone else's, then I need to look again, because it's really mine that I need. And if someone else approves or loves, that's wonderful. But what I need is to get it here, because otherwise, running around looking for it somewhere where else is what we can call addiction. And we've probably all been there one way or another. Not everybody's an addict, but you know, you might have eaten the whole pie. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't do that, but you might have. You know, I have a history of addiction, but the activity of it was a long time ago. So it's been a blessing to me. It's been a blessing to me because I've been in recovery for so long that that's my life. My life is about recovery. My life is not about drinking alcohol till I pass out. But it could be, and it was, but it's not. So for today, I know that whatever I need is not to take a drink. And it takes some people forever, maybe never, to learn that. Because it isn't just learning with our heads. I don't even know what it is. You know, some things are so deep, they're just a mystery. Like my dad never learned that, you know, and he died of alcoholism. He could not learn that. He said, "Oh, I can handle it." That was his motto. And and there are so many people, a lot more like him than like me. But, so I don't know if it's the grace of God, because the grace of God is available to everyone. You know, it's not, and God is good all the time. I read all these things where it's like, oh, so-and-so is better now. Oh, God is good. This is true, but it doesn't mean that God is bad if the person got worse, because that happens. That's part of life. So we can't just say, oh, if I'm good and I pray, God will be good, you know. That's just not it, because then that makes, if we use any kind of logic at all, then that just doesn't make any sense, because we're all going to die, and we might as well be able to have the best experience we can right up to that crossing over that border, whatever it may be. It isn't because somebody failed us. It's just for some reason, that's whatever we're going to die of, that's it. And I don't know why. I can't know why. So for me to be worrying about that, or to be thinking I'm unlucky, or to be thinking I'm never going to die, which we do when we're younger. So if you're really young, you still think that, go ahead, enjoy yourself. Have a good time. You know, it's all right. When we need it, we learn it. You know, the teacher appears. I sound like I'm wise. Maybe I think I am. Well, I'll look at that later. Right now, I'm giving a talk. This isn't the time for reflection, Sharon. So, may my memory be a blessing. May my memory be a blessing. And may I learn not to judge others. I know I'll do it, but let me catch myself in doing it, and let me recognize what it is. I'm going to cue the slide number 1. Kind of forgot I have some slides, so we got to get them in. All right, so it was only when Betty took a long, hard look at her deep, dark shadow self did she realize that she was also that arsehole she hated from down the street. Not that, Betty, not that one. That's a why. Okay, so do that shadow work. Do that shadow work, because it's true. If I'm judging you, well, I'm judging myself too. All right, let's go to the next one, because I'll forget them if I don't do it now. Okay, and this one. Sometimes I wake up and I have to remind myself there is nothing wrong with me. I have patterns to unlearn, new behaviors to embody, and wounds to heal. But there is nothing wrong with the core of me and who I am. I am unlearning generations of harm and remembering love It takes time. So that's life. That kind of covers it for me. There is nothing wrong with me. And as we learn this, we also learn that we need to have boundaries that keep us safe. Let's have the third slide. But your boundary need not always be an angry electric fence that shocks those who touch it. It can be a consistent light around you that announces, I will be treated sacredly. And when I first started working on boundaries, because as a child, I didn't grow up with any boundaries, What was that? Who knew what that was? And even as a young adult, no. I look back and think, wow, I had no boundaries. And it's just about true. And one time after I spoke here, a friend of mine said, you have no filter. And I said, what? You think I don't have a filter? You should hear what it would be like if I didn't. So we learn, we don't always have to, we need these things, but they're malleable. They can be changed. Because I know I built walls instead of boundaries, because that's when we're learning, sometimes everything's black and white. So if we've been at one end, we're going to go to the other end when we think we need to change or heal. So learning that there's a lot of space to be in is helpful too. That things are not just black or white. We know in unity it's not just good or evil. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't know that. They think it's just right, wrong, and things aren't really like that. There's a lot of space, and that is common humanity. That is being connected, knowing there are a lot of different ways to be and a lot of space, and that we can grow and learn through all of it. So I'm really grateful to have this opportunity, and I hope that you can remember that learning to have self-compassion is about treating yourself with kindness, mindfulness, and shared humanity, a sense of shared humanity, and that it will uplift you in some way this week and every week. Thank you.
Open up my heart, let the healing come. Feel the space within be restored. In this holy love, love that has no bounds. Open up my heart, let the healing come. Open up my mind to the infinite source, to the wellspring of the divine, bringing forth the light to what once was dark. Open up my heart, let the healing come. Oh, open, oh, open, oh, open up my heart. Oh, open, oh, open, oh, open up heart. Let the healing come. Oh, open, oh, open, oh, open up my heart. Oh, open, oh, open, oh, open up my heart. Open up my heart, lay my burdens down. In the here and now, I am free. I am wrapped in love. I am clothed in light. Open up my heart, the healing has begun. Oh, open, oh, open, oh, open up my heart. Oh, open, oh, open up my heart.
And now let's go to a place of meditation. Breathing in, breathing out. Just being here now. Let me not beg for the stilling of my pain, but for the heart to conquer it. Faith is the bird that feels the light and sings when the dawn is still dark. The small wisdom is like water in a glass, clear, transparent, pure. The great wisdom is like the water in the sea, dark, mysterious, impenetrable. Reach high, for stars lie hidden in you. Dream deep, for every dream precedes the goal. May you be at peace. May you be kind to yourself. May you be in the moment, appreciating it. May you be and know that you are connected to others, connected in compassion, in caring, in love. To this world and beyond this world. May you know that having choices is freedom, and that those choices create our next experiences, near and far. May you feel loved. May you feel worthy. And may you emanate that love and worthiness. May you know that the ego is necessary and not evil, not bad. It's just a part of things. It is a part of our human body, our human life, our human experience. And may you know that you are so much more. That the connection to other people is also connection to spirit, to the world of spirit, vaster than we can ever fathom. And this gives us spiritual resources beyond our imagination. May you remember this and be able to reach within and reach out and access the resources, these resources of love and healing, healing the past, healing the present, and allowing for a healing in future. And for these truths, let us be aware and grateful, appreciation, expanding whatever it is that we want and need in this life experience. And for this, I am truly grateful. And so it is. And you may come back to this time and place and be here. And so it is.
I feel the spirit moving in my body, yeah, yeah, yeah. I feel the spirit moving in my body, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm stepping out, I'm living free, I'm choosing who I wanna be. Wahoo! I'm stepping out, I'm living free, I'm choosing who I wanna be. Wahoo! Yeah, yeah. I've got divine love radiating from me, yeah, yeah, yeah. I've got divine love radiating from me, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm stepping out, I'm living free, I'm choosing who I wanna be. Wahoo! I'm stepping out, I'm living free, I'm choosing who I wanna be. Wahoo! Yeah, yeah. I see perfection, that's what I see, yeah, yeah, yeah. Everywhere I see perfection, staring back at me now, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm stepping out, I'm living free, I'm choosing who I wanna be. Wahoo! I'm stepping out, I'm living free, I'm choosing who I wanna be. Wahoo! Yeah, yeah. I know my power, I'm mighty, mighty, yeah, yeah, yeah. I know my power, I'm mighty, mighty, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm stepping out, I'm living free, I'm choosing who I wanna be. Wahoo! I'm stepping out, I'm living free, I'm choosing who I wanna be. Wahoo! Yeah, yeah. I feel the spirit moving in my body, yeah, yeah, yeah. Come on! I feel the spirit moving in my body, yeah, yeah, yeah. One more! I feel the spirit moving in my body, yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. I feel the spirit Spirit moving in my body, yeah, 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 yeah. Woo!
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, Millie. As our ushers come forward for our time of thanks, I invite you to join me as we hold our gifts to this community in our hands and love in our hearts. Let's affirm together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and so it is. As the love offering is being collected, let's join Holly in singing in beauty I may walk. May I walk.
In beauty, may I walk all day long. May I walk through the seasons. May I walk. May I walk in peace. May I walk in peace. May I walk. 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 May I walk in peace. May I walk in peace. In stillness, may I walk in forgiveness. May I walk in loving kindness. May I walk. May I walk in peace. May I walk in peace.
As our ushers come forward, here's our prayer of thanks. Please listen. We are grateful and we bless the flow of goodness that supports our unity community. We bless the givers who give their time, talent, and treasure. We stand in the knowing that the flow of good goes forth only to return again and again, and so it is. Amen. Now for opportunities. A special welcome to our guests today. Thank you for joining us. If you would like more information about the Unity Movement and Unity of Lawrence, please pick up a welcome packet in the lobby. The Lunch Bunch is meeting at Huhat at 2525 Iowa Street. All are welcome. Our weekly meditation group meets on Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m. in the sanctuary. Everyone is welcome. There is also an online meditation on Tuesday mornings. More information in the foyer. Come early and join us Sunday mornings for a time of fellowship at 10:30 a.m. downstairs. Enjoy some fresh coffee and treats with your Unity community. Reverend Martha Creek is coming to Lawrence. Yay. She is presenting the workshop Struggle Less next Sunday, June 12th, after the potluck at 1 p.m. We are excited to have her here. And please join us next Sunday when Reverend Martha Creek brings us the message, Mystical Ways of Being, special music with David Luther. And now it is time to sing in our youth.
Stand up together here. You are walking in the light, in the light, and the light. You are walking in the light of God. And the light, 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 in the light of God.
Good morning, everyone. So you can see there's a lot of adults up here today. So I'm preparing for a transition out for a little bit. Today's my last Sunday with the kiddos. But we brought you some amazing friends today. This is Miss Sierra, and this is Miss Elena. They'll be taking over with the youth starting next Sunday. And so the kids spent today getting to know them and going through some of their different things we do, like practicing the blessing, the prayer, all those things that we do up here. So we spent the day just letting them get acclimated to the children and to unity and the practices that we have here. So today we're just prepared to make that transition and make sure that you all know who they are, that the kids know who they are, and they got some time to just build together in a spirit bond today. So that's what we did downstairs today.
Thank you, Danica. Okay, it's time to bless our youth. Let's rub our hands together. We love you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divinity in you. Because our vision is celebrating a peaceful and abundant world for all, let's join in singing the peace song.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God our Creator, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my choice.